Hi everyone. Today we're working with values. Values are lights and darks that you can see when you look at an object or a scene. Values are the strongest when you have a strong light source, and that's why artists like to set up a distinct light source when drawing from a still life setup. You can see a strong contrast between the light parts and the shadows. When you work on a value study drawing, you want to create the maximum tension between the lightest lights and the darkest darks, adding to the drama and excitement of your drawing. First of all, let's take a look at the different pencils that you have available. Drawing pencils have a range of values. B pencils are darker in value. B stands for black. A higher number on a B pencil means that the lead is softer and the value is darker. H pencils are lighter in value. H stands for hard. A higher number on an H pencil means that the lead is harder and the value is lighter. Your 6B pencil has the darkest value. Your HB pencil works well for your midtones. And your 4H pencil is used for your light values. If you have a regular 2HB pencil or a 2B pencil, it works well for the darker midtones. We want to have a variety of values between the darkest darks, all the way black, and the lightest lights, all the way white. To practice this, we are now going to draw a value scale with 9 different and distinct value steps, as well as a gradient scale. Let's begin. Please draw along with the video. Feel free to stop the video to complete each step of the exercise with quality. First, you will draw the grid for your value scale. You will have 9 different value steps. Your scale is 4.5 inches long and 1/2 inch tall. Please mark a separate step every 1/2 inches. As you can see, I'm also marking the 1/2 inch increments on the bottom so I can very well connect the top and the bottom. Oops. When shading in the individual steps, we are starting with the darkest value using the 6B pencil. We are starting with full pressure and are gradually easing up the pressure for our pencil to create a slightly lighter value in each consecutive step. The last step will have the lightest value, which is the white of the paper. You can see that I'm holding a ruler at the bottom and top edges. This process speeds up my shading, and I don't have to worry about drawing outside of the line. You also will notice that I'm moving my pencil up and down, always in the same direction in order to create a smooth and even value in each of the squares. The challenge for you is to see how smooth you can shade each of the values without smearing your marks. About 1/3 through, we are going to shift to a lighter pencil. For my midtones, I was using first my 2HB pencil and then my HB pencil. It's fine to just use the HB pencil for the midtones. This is my HB pencil now. And you can see the value is getting lighter. And I'm also not putting a lot of pressure on it. So I'm shading very lightly. Also look at the angle of my pencil. It's fairly flat. And I'm holding it more towards the end of the pencil. And I'm shifting to my lightest pencil, the 4H pencil. Again, I'm pressing very lightly to barely add any value to my square. And I'm leaving the last square unshaded, using the white of the paper as my lightest value. Feel free to pause the video in order to complete your value scale with quality. You might need to go back and adjust individual value steps in order to have a consistent progression of dark to light values. Also make sure that you shaded each value step as smoothly as possible. We are now going to shade a gradient. The dimensions are the same as for the value scale, 4.5 inches long and 1/2 an inch tall. In the gradient scale, we will not shade distinct individual values, but rather transition gradually from darkest values to lightest values. We start off with our 6B pencil using full pressure and gradually ease up the pressure, creating gradually lighter values, shifting to lighter pencils as we continue the progression. I'm shifting to my 2HB pencil. Or if you don't have one, just go to your HB pencil. And again, I'm trying to keep it as smooth as possible without smearing it. So that's going to be your challenge. I'm getting pretty light here. You can see I'm going back to add a little bit more value because I was getting too light too fast. I'm going to my lightest pencil, the 4H, barely touching the paper, just adding really light value and fading out to nothingness. Feel free to pause the video in order to complete your gradient, sorry, not value scale, your gradient with quality. In this picture, you can see a variety of angular objects. In order to get the maximum contrast, I went to a dark room without a window. I set up a light source on the left. Each object has distinct planes or sides. When you look at the rectangular form in the front, you can see that each of the three sides has a different value depending on how the light is affecting each side. We're going to draw a cube next. Remember, when you shift from one side to the next, you have to shift the value, as your light source will affect each side of your cube differently. This is how you make an angular form, like your cube, look 3D by using values. First, we are drawing the outline of the cube using one-point perspective. Please use your ruler for all of your lines. You begin by drawing the front side of your cube. Each side of your square is 1.5 inches. Then we are going to make our cube look 3D. This is the second image. Draw a little X in the right top corner. This is going to be your vanishing point. With a ruler, connect each corner to the vanishing point. Finish the cube by using lines parallel to the front sides. Follow along with the video. So you can see how I'm sliding my ruler and keep the same direction. Okay, there we go. Add a light source and lay in the shape of the cast shadow. That's the image on the left. Now, looking at the image on the right, the location of the light source determines the values, the lights and darks of your individual sides of your cube and your cast shadow. Please label all the values. So we have the lightest value on the top, we have a mid-tone on the front, and then we have the darkest values on the side opposite from the light source and your cast shadow. Now we are going to shade in the 3 different values for each of the sides. The side opposite from the light source is the darkest, casting a shadow onto the surface the cube is sitting on. So we're shading it really dark using our 6B pencil. The side facing us, the front of the cube, has a medium value. and the cast shadow has a very dark value. Unfortunately, the light during the filming is reflecting from the dark graphite value areas, making them look much lighter than they actually look. Please use the image on the left as your reference. Lastly, I'm using my eraser to lighten the dark outlines of my lighter sides. In a true value study, edges are created by shading up to the edges rather than outlining them. These lines are called implied lines. Please photograph your sketchbook page and submit your drawings in the evaluation Google Doc. Make sure all parts are labeled.